Welcome to part 2 of episode 27 of Digitized Desperadoes. We're talking about Ping Pong the Animation.
Based on a manga called Ping Pong,
Yeah,
which is
Based on the
probably a
sport,
nightmare to look up.
ping pong.
Probably a nightmare
also
to look
known as
up.
table tennis.
Actually, they call it. They usually call it table tennis in the anime.
Yes, they mainly just call it table tennis.
I think that's what
actually-
ping pong players call it. I don't know.
The manga was published in '96.
Oh wow,
Oh, wow.
really? Okay.
Yes, which gives
It's one of those adaptations where there's a big different gap.
personally, when I looked that up, it explained a lot about the show to me that I was very confused about.
Like
Yeah.
what?
I would describe the show as insanely toxic masculine. Like,
Oh yeah,
so much, which isn't inherently bad. It's just
what it's about.
it was made in
Just about
2014.
it's high school sports.
I don't think this would be anywhere near the same in 2014. You know, but it doesn't take place in 2014. It takes place in 1996, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like this is way later in the show, but there's the flashback to when our main characters are kids, and you see Pecco's math test has Ava doodles all over it.
Oh my
and he
god, I
has
remember
his
that.
name
Oh
as
yeah.
third child.
And he's also always playing a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
All right. So
I didn't really pay attention to that.
where do we begin?
So this is a coming of age story, but it's impossible to tell.
I guess
It's an ensemble cast, but there are clearly two main characters.
Mhm.
There's Smile
Yes.
and Pecco. And all it really boils down to is their rivalry, friendship.
Rivalry,
Their
friendship,
friendship.
friendship.
It's mostly friendship.
Yeah.
And basically, just Pecco being the source for Smile.
Is that what they call him?
Willpower?
Which one?
Do they say Pecco a lot more in the actual? I watched this dubbed.
They only say Pecco.
Okay, no, they call him like Hoshino in the dub.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much exclusively. Okay, let me explain you something to how much they say Pecco. In episode 4, episode 4 or 5, where he grows out his hair, and they called him Hoshino, and I thought he was a new character.
Same. He looked so different, and then it was just like, oh wait, no, that's Pecco. He's just really lost.
He was
Yeah.
tan, he had a girlfriend and long hair, and I'm like, that's a new character.
Yes.
So we have Hoshino, Tsukimoto, and then
Mr.
also
Tsukimoto.
focused on later, we have Kong, who is referred to as China.
They don't say
And
that. They
then
just call him Wenge.
Kazuma, who is Dragon.
They call him Wenge in the dub.
Well, no. Pecco and Smile call him China. They're the only people who do. Everyone else calls him Kong or Wenjie.
Yeah. And then there's Kazuma, who is nicknamed the Dragon.
I just call him Baldy in my notes.
That's the same.
Fair.
I just said bald guy.
Or Big Baldy, because there's a short Baldy named Sakuma.
Yeah, there's Sakuma, who has the slit eyes, and he's an old friend of Pecco and Smile, and then there's also Sonata, who has the big eyebrows.
There's a lot of characters in this.
Yeah.
Who's Sonata?
The guy who tries to steal Yuri from Kazuma.
Him. Right. I forget what I called him in my notes, but it was not his name.
Probably eyebrows, because that is his.
I just called him Kaio's VP.
Oh wow!
I just called him VP.
Oof.
That's funny. Okay, so it follows all these characters, and it jumps around a lot between their stories. There's even some side characters, like really unrelated.
Oh yeah,
there's like the one guy that like quits.
Minor side character.
The guy who goes on a spiritual journey.
I love the guy that quits.
I love that guy. Like he's the most minor character, but he has a whole arc.
And even Kong gets he's clearly a minor character. He's not.
He starts off and he's like the main antagonist
for
like
an
one episode.
Reverts to like a very B+ player kind of role.
I mean, I'm good. I gotta tell you, he's my favorite character.
Dude, he's my favorite character too. No, you can't have him. He's mine.
In episode 6, which is a Christmas episode, there's a musical segment.
Oh, we're getting into that.
The entire thing is everyone being depressed because they've like lost their purpose in life, and
Yes.
Kong is flipping having a party with his team.
Kong
And I
is
was so happy.
Kong is the
This
only
is-
one who has a good Christmas.
This is where the dub
Everyone
gets
else has
freaking
a
weird
horrible Christmas.
because
Did they
like
dub the song?
no,
Oh,
because Wenja's still Chinese. Like he still like speaks Chinese,
yeah,
but like he sings the song in English.
yeah, he does in the song.
Okay,
The
or
song is just
English
English.
rather, and it's really funny.
Yeah,
But everyone has a horrible Christmas except for Kong.
like we
'Cause Big
never
Bug
see
is-
Smile's parents. When we see his house, it's like depressing.
Mhm.
And like Pecco, I don't even remember Pecco that scene. Oh right, he's depressed in that scene.
Yeah, no, he's
Everyone
just
is.
Oh yeah, Hoshino is drunk.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's
right.
right. Yeah, he gets drunk and
And then
wanders the city.
Kazuma is like training while
Is training all the time and
while his
ignoring.
crush is like wants to go on a date with him because it's Christmas. And she like imagines them having a
Going
date.
on a date, but it's not real.
That's such a good scene. I know that we
Yeah,
jumped
that
ahead,
whole
but
montage is great.
Oh yeah,
The-
ping pong date.
there kind of isn't the plot isn't very A to B. It's very disjointed. We're joining a lot of characters in different points in their life.
They're just
Yeah.
learning
them.
ping pong, getting better at ping pong, or losing ping pong.
But it's kind of not about ping pong at all.
It's
It's just
about
ping
yeah,
pong's
no,
like what's driving it.
ping
It's
pong-
about
yeah,
why
ping pong
they're
is
playing
like
ping pong.
it's like how is like the medium for which showing these
I
characters.
think that's one
journeys.
thing I actually really like about this is it's like ping pong is everything to these people, but the show doesn't make it actually seem like ping pong is literally everything in the world, which I think a lot of sports like movies and stories go like, oh, if we lose the game, everything's gone. It's like, well, no. This show is more realistic, and it's like, if you lose the game, that's not going to be really good for
it's
you.
about like learning that hey, winning and losing isn't everything.
Oh, and there's
I would just
That's literally Kazuma's whole arc.
yeah.
I would describe this show as a bunch of characters asking themselves the question, why am I playing ping pong? And at the
Yes.
beginning, they have these really depressing motivations, like Smile doesn't even want to play, he doesn't even like the sport, he's doing it for Pecco. Pecco doesn't know why he started in the
Nope.
first place.
Pecco does it because he wants to be a gold medalist in the Olympics.
Well, not really, but yeah, he
That's
says
it's like
that.
his childhood dream, and that's the only
Um,
reason he's still
And then
around.
Kazuma
Does it because that's how he's been raised.
No, he does it for his family. He wants to win back his family honor. He's flipping
Yes.
Zuko.
And then
Oh.
Kong does it because he wants to go home initially.
Kong got kicked off of his national team at home
And
in
so now he's
China,
Back in
and so he's
Japan,
trying
and he
to,
wants to
I
go
guess,
home.
make himself feel better. It's his exile. I think I'm missing one. I think
Sakuma does it because it's basically spite.
yeah.
He's driven by spite and hate.
And then I forget the VP. VP loves the girl. That's right.
Yeah.
But
He
the
kind of just
girl-
wants he just eventually goes to like, I want revenge on Kazuma, and then
Yeah.
realizes, oh no, I can't.
But I think all of those twisted motivations kind of untwist themselves, and by the end
Yes.
of it, there's this really, really good scene. I believe it's in the Pecco versus Kazuma fight, where they
Yes.
start having
episode
fun.
10.
They start
Yeah.
having
Oh, yeah,
fun in the game,
Yeah, he learns
like,
how to have
Episode
fun
10 is
again.
incredible.
and they're thinking like, "Oh my god, I'm having fun in a professional match. I'm living," you know?
Yeah, he's
no,
like
it's
has
great,
this
like-
moment where he realizes he's like, oh, I'm just gonna lose, but like,
He's
is
accepting of it. He
fine.
doesn't care because he's just like, basically like it's the lowest possible moment. Like
and
Pecco's about
another
to
thing
lose,
that's like that
and then he
adds to
becomes
that is the fact that he's like on the team that like will kick you off if you lose, like once.
yeah.
Well, they wouldn't kick him off.
No, yeah, probably
But
not
yeah,
him.
the
But
whole thing
Well,
is
no,
just
they don't. They don't kick people off if they lose.
they mentioned something about like them being absurdly stupid with their.
They kick Sakuma off, but that's only because he breaks the rules and goes and does an unofficial
He
match.
gets it-
Oh yeah,
he does an unofficial match, and then he gets into a fight.
Oh no, he gets into an unofficial match. But if he won, they would let him stay.
Yeah,
And then
the
he like
rules
fist
they
fights
say, at
someone.
least in the dub, they're like, you can challenge people on your own, but if you lose, you're out.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I believe he goes and like punches some guy in the streets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just remembered that.
But then he like leaves ping pong and ends up just like he
He
grows his
defects to
hair
the
out and
Soviet.
then
I
he
mean,
gets a girlfriend and then you get to the end and stuff happens. Yeah. But yeah, I want to talk about like episode 10 where it's just like that's a great episode. It's incredible because it's just like Pecco's at his lowest moment. He's about to lose and then he basically goes into hero mode and starts playing so well that Kazuma actually enjoys himself for like the first time in forever. And then like the art style like shifts and the colors change and it's like
Oh, I love that.
this
Yeah.
peaceful realm where they're like the outside is just like gone and it's just them
The art style of this show is really
enjoying.
freaking good.
We could talk for hours just about how much detail went into the art and the visuals.
Oh my god, absolutely.
But first of all, it's like a semi-realistic, which I've never really seen in an anime like this.
It's like a rotoscope. I don't know.
It
That's
it
probably
looks like
wrong.
people with normal anime characters. I have a really hard time imagining them as real people, but with these, I'm like, yeah, that's a real
Mhm.
Yeah.
person, you know.
It's like realistic outlines of people, but they only use 3
There's like
colors in
and
shading.
there are a few characters where it's like okay they're a little weird looking but it's like
I mean,
fine.
Sakuma.
Sakuma, old lady's son who trains Pecco.
No, he's great. Shut up. So excitable. Some things we're talking about all the positives. Some things I don't like about the show. It's a good show, but I have problems with it. It falls into a lot of sports anime tropes, and I know I shouldn't say that because I haven't watched another sports anime, but I think I get it. They have the old legends, like the
Yeah.
old
That's
guard.
just a sports trope. Not even
Well,
like
yeah,
sports
but
anime.
at the beginning you think, oh, it's just a story, but then you realize that Smiles coach is Butterfly Joe, which his backstory is so corny.
I know it's really corny and stuff, but I still like the character a lot.
No, he's
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
love him.
Oh, he's
but
great.
I think
Also, his voice actor in the dub, I'm gonna say it's like perfectly cast.
Oh, he's very good in the sub too. There's so many English lines. It's amazing. Like he always refers to like in full English. He calls Smile Mr. Tsukimoto.
oh yeah, no,
It's
he
great.
literally talks in English for like a lot of his lines. It's great.
No, he just says like Skimoto in the
Oh, okay. His gimmick is English.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But then throughout the show, you realize that all of the coaches are old guard famous people who have statues dedicated to them and ancient legends. And I'm like, oh, come on. Why can't they just be normal people, you know? Why does the old woman running the table tennis
hall.
shack, why does she have to be a pro in her prime? I don't know. That's just
The one thing I will say that it adds to the plot is in the fact that like these people hit their prime and they're still trying to like relive that in some way by training other people, which is very realistic to an extent.
The only thing I like about it is that they parallel Butterfly Joe's dilemma with him like he
Injuring,
forfeits the match because
Yeah.
his friend is injured, and they have the same thing with Smile and Pecco.
Yes.
Though Pecco does become Olympic. He does go
Yeah, no,
pro.
but like it is stated in that final episode where it's like literally it doesn't matter who wins because
They
Smile
don't
is
even
having
show
fun.
you who wins until
They
like they don't
But
show you the person that
until
wins
after
winning.
the flash forward.
Yeah.
the great thing about the last episode, and probably my favorite scene in the show, besides everything with Kong, is the very last climactic battle where you're like, yes, it is the two main characters. This is their final match in this tournament. They're gonna have an all-out brawl, but it keeps on cutting back to their childhood matches, and you're like, I'm not seeing their match. And then it just turns into like another music video, and I'm like, oh, I see. I get
Yeah,
where it's going.
and they just never come back to the match at some point, and then they
They
just
do
show
say
you who
it.
won.
Yeah, they time skip, and then they just
Yeah.
have Smile talk to who's he talking?
Kazuma comes
He's
in
talking to Cosmo, right?
and it just shows a like the hung up because like they skipped like basically to modern day essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
Smile
they
is the
just show
school
a framed
teacher.
picture of Pecco having won.
Yeah.
But as they stated earlier, it's like it didn't matter because Smile regained his joy again. He
Yeah,
hadn't had since childhood.
that's the fundamental arc they go for. They have this whole thing with the robot and the hero, where Smile is the robot, Pecco is the hero. It's like a little
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. There's all
pretend
kinds of
play.
symbolism, like the plane constantly being like a symbol for Kong.
Yeah.
Throughout the
But
dragon being Cosmo.
but
There's lots of like symbolism.
they have the whole little pretend play they had, Pecco and Smile had as they were kids. And that's what it all boils down to, because Pecco realizes his real reason he wanted to play was because Smile got his nickname because he used to smile all the time playing ping pong. So
It
he had to
wasn't
bring
an
his...
ironic nickname. It was literal.
Yeah, right. And people thought it was ironic because when he went into high school, he got depressed because Pecco stopped caring about ping pong.
Because Pecco got lazy, and so he basically lost the drive.
So I like the show, but I wish we focused more on the side characters than on Pecco and Smile.
You wanted more Kong and Cosmo.
I liked Kong a lot.
I think Kong gets enough screen time, but Kazuma, I wasn't invested in his story enough. I wanted more.
Yeah.
They don't tell you really anything about how he feels about the girl. We don't get the girl's backstory. We get like her dad's famous, I think. Her dad's
It was
important.
like a 1-episode arc, wasn't it?
They show her, but they don't.
The girl is his
say
cousin.
much. Yeah, but she's in love with him, and that's fine because it's Japan, and you can.
I think they mentioned how that's a little weird, even in the show.
Yeah, I mean it's a little weird, but it's legal, and no one would like be mad.
The coach says it is a pure relationship. Pure.
And I believe there's a scene where she walks in on him in the bath, and he's just like, "Whatever, this is normal."
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I wanted more from them. I wanted to learn more about them. The Wanderer guy, I honestly could have taken more scenes with him.
Yeah, no, he's such a minor character, but I love that he just has like a full arc over the course of the show.
He does.
There's like a part at the end where he comes back and he's like, "I should have never left you, Ping Pong." I'm like, "Wait,
yeah, it's because he loses
that
to
guy?"
Tsukamoto, and then he just says,
Yeah.
"Maybe I should go to the mountains or the beach," and he just wanders around, and then he eventually returns, and he's like, "Oh no, I loved it all along." It's great. Because he just keeps popping up every now and then, and it's like, yay, it's this guy.
They're so good. Also, I think we could have used more Sakuma. I could not tell you what his arc really was, except he is cocky and likes ping pong.
He just left ping pong and then got a life outside of it, basically.
Yeah, I mean they all did except Pecco and Kong.
Yeah.
Which I believe Kong also goes pro.
Yeah,
Pecco
Kong, like it says, after 5 years, he's finally back in China.
Yeah, something like that. There's like a headline.
Yeah, and then Pecco goes to the Olympics, and then Cosmo is cut from the team.
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
Smile becomes a school teacher, which is weird.
School teacher, and he teaches at the ping pong hall.
I think that's
Sakuma just has a family.
Oh yeah, I think he's the only character who like obviously has a family, which is kind of sad. But
yeah, and Yuri just goes to London, like she said she would.
But yeah. Again, it's been a while since we've seen this, so I'm kind of running out of stuff.
I mean, I finished it recently.
I saw the end recently, but I didn't see most of the show recently.
But
it's been a long time for me, but I have good notes.
Definitely, like the art and the animation of it.
The animation of this is really good.
Incredible.
The thing about
this is Yuasa, man. He's the man.
The thing about Yuasa is that everything he does is so original. I understand this is based on existing material, but I literally can't imagine this in any other form. It's so fluid, it's so weird and messed up and surreal.
It feels like it was made to be like this.
Right, yeah. I can't imagine this is the manga. Like what would you do?
Like maybe if it was just the like dialogue, like just the script of the manga. That's the only form of it I can imagine.
Yeah. I don't think it's the best of Yuasa's work. I think his other stuff is significantly better.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because
Like,
he
oh
did,
yeah, I wanted to mention, like, for me, it's like this is definitely a show where it's like the 3 episode rule. If you're watching this on your own time, would definitely be important because I kind of didn't really feel like invested until episode 3.
yeah.
Episode 1 and 2 are just kind of like, okay, yeah, and then episode 3, like, it was like, oh, okay, now I'm like getting into it.
I was rough. I was rough in the beginning. It took a while.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about the opening and ending?
I think the opening was really good, and I don't remember the ending.
Oh yeah, no,
Same.
well, no, it's because episode 1 and 2 don't even have a proper OP. It's just scenes from that episode replaying, and then
I
it doesn't
think
get a proper opening animation until episode 3.
I think the opening kind of changes sometimes.
They
I think
change
they
when it
changed the
happens, at the
video.
very least.
Well, also
Um,
at the end you realize when you get to the end you realize that oh the OP is just the final battle.
Yeah,
Is it? Oh,
It's
I wasn't
it's
paying attention.
yeah it's Smile
it
and
is.
Pekka walking out into the arena and then playing against each other.
Yeah, I'm looking for Yuasa's things. Did you know he did an episode of Adventure Time?
What?
What?
I didn't know that.
Wait, what?
Masaaki Yuasa did an episode of Adventure Time in season 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna look up
weird.
when this was. 2014. That's very weird. I have not seen it. I think that Tommy Galaxy is way better. Sorry. I think 90
Yeah.
Short Walk on
That's not
Girl
a
is
fair
way
comparison to
better.
make, though.
It's not.
These things are very different. Yeah.
That's kind of
No,
my point.
it's just Tatami Galaxy is just like really fucking good.
That's kind of my
Yeah.
point. I think Tommy Galaxy is leagues above Ping Pong. Ping Pong's still really good, but it's not even close.
The
Devil
thing is,
Man.
I don't want to compare the two because I didn't care about ping pong, but this show did make me care about ping pong temporarily.
I still don't care about Ping Pong, but I like the characters.
Yeah.
I like the show. Yeah.
The show was good. I just
Yeah, show is very good.
I don't
But
think
I'm not gonna
Pong-
care about the sport. Yeah.
I don't think Ping Pong was what you're supposed to take out of the show.
Oh no,
Yeah, exactly.
definitely not.
The sport is just a vehicle to tell the story.
Mhm.
It's not
But at the
about
same time, they do really incorporate it into the show. They have all the
They have
there's a freaking ping pong stomp band at one point where they make music with the ping pong sounds.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
It's
they
like in
do.
episode 3.
They also at times go in depth to like the paddles they use and the pips on them, which I don't understand.
You know, you're just supposed to take that at face value and just not.
And they
I
question it
imagine
animated
it's
because
like
I
a
would
matter of
never.
like it changes how the hits or the spinning work or
And
whatever.
they animate it, and I clap because I see the pips.
I don't even know what
it-
you're saying when you say pips.
It's the little like rubber things that stick out on
Oh,
the side
okay,
of the paddle.
those.
the nubs.
They call them
the-
pips. That's why I'm saying it because it's funny. But yeah, I rewatched a little bit of the first episode to get kind of remember stuff, and they have a flippin' title card announcement for each character, and it tells you what style.
Oh yeah, no, it's
on,
great.
It tells you what paddle they like to use, which I'm like, this is useless information.
Gives their name, their nickname. It's amazing.
I wonder if a ping pong expert could watch this and tell us if it's accurate ping pong information or not.
I think okay, that reminded me. I rewatched parts from multiple episodes, and I had a note in episode 4 that says this play style looks infuriating. So I went back and rewatched it. It's the one where Sakuma is against Peko, I think. And
Yeah.
Sakuma is lobbing them up in the air really high.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
And
for
it
the
looked,
express purpose of just exhausting Pekka.
it looked
it's
so
doing the exact same
annoying.
thing every time.
I mean, I understand that's what they were going for, but I was so frustrated with that scene.
That's good. It's making you feel.
It's great.
But
I'm gonna look through my notes a little bit more.
yeah,
Peko drowns at some point.
Yes, Peko drowns in shallow water
He does.
when he gets drunk. And then he like has his come to Jesus moment where he realizes he has to get back into the game.
There's a lot of good moments where they just during a big match, they just cut to a random person in the audience and we get his thoughts on it.
Yeah.
They're
Oh
like,
yeah.
wow,
Also, I remember from the finale when it's like about as Peko and Smile are going up, and you have the long sequence where it's just like people on the outside texting and talking,
Yeah.
and just not being interested because Kazuma's out.
No, pretty much everyone left because the match means nothing. They're both going on to and they're both in the same school. So
Oh
it's like
yeah.
Yeah. Everyone
It's
just
not-
writes it off because it's like, oh, Kaio got eliminated, whatever.
But then someone texts the flippin' Spirit Journey guy and he comes.
Oh yeah.
I liked that texting thing.
Because didn't one
Oh
of
yeah, no,
them
it's
beat
really
the
cool
guy?
where it's just like it's not about the championship, it's not about like the fans watching, it's just about these two finally getting to go at it again.
Max, what did you ask?
Didn't one of the two beat that guy?
Yeah, Smile destroyed him really early on, like
Yeah.
episode 2.
And
Or
and then he's just like
I'm sorry,
occasionally
Ping
appearing
Pong.
from
I'll
then
never
on.
leave you again.
Oh right, the weird stuff with the coaches where you love your coach. Do you remember
Oh
that?
yeah, the training where it's basically like it's the Valentine's Day, and then Butterfly Joe just basically says, "Hey, we're gonna go on a date."
Oh yeah, coach date.
They do the same with the old woman who doesn't get a name.
Yeah.
Also at one point Smile almost kills his coach.
Yes.
Oh
he
yeah, is
does.
that on the bike?
No, when
No.
they have the match.
Oh yeah.
one-on-one.
Episode 2 actually.
Yeah.
Oh, when
I mean,
when the
Smile
coach is
just
like, yeah,
does straight
you're
up say
actually
like
good at ping pong.
I'm gonna do the strategy against Pekka, or I'm gonna kill his knee. And then like if he's really the hero, it's not gonna affect him because the heroes have no weaknesses.
And he does win, so
So yeah, he does it, and then Pekka doesn't, let it bother him, and then that's when Smile knows, like, okay, yeah, he's good. The hero's back. Here we go. This is gonna be a good match. But yeah, I feel I said about all I have to say. Just we've made our points.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
are we getting to ratings?
yeah, I'll go. I'm like I said, compared to Yuasa's other stuff, not the biggest fan. I wouldn't watch this again, but it's not bad. It's artful. It's something new. I wish more people made anime like this. But not my genre, not my favorite. 6.5, 7 out of 10.
I have to agree with you. I don't really care for sports anime,
Same.
but this is damn good. I
Out
would
of
give it
all
a
the
7
sports
out of
anime,
10 just
I would.
for what?
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go
I'd
ahead.
give this a 7 out of 10 just for making me care
Yeah,
about something I really just don't care about
I
temporarily.
think if anyone ever watches the sports anime, it should be this one or Keijo.
Keijo, the greatest sword of
Well,
all time.
Keijo's a parody, so watch this and then Keijo.
Yeah. Yeah, 7.5 sounds good to me. Like, I definitely, like, it took me more towards the end to really, like, care and starting to see, like, oh, this is where this is going.
I was kind of the
But,
opposite.
but no, I quite liked it. So yeah, 7.5 sounds good to me.
Sorry, I'm
Not like,
interrupting you guys all the time. I was kind of the opposite with it. I was super invested at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, Kong's a cool character, Kazuma's a cool character. I want to know more about these guys, but it really turns into Peko and Smile's story. The last
I
half.
mean, it is Peko and Smile's story.
Right, but I was misled by the beginning where it jumps around a lot to other characters. Like I said, I'd prefer more side character stuff. I don't like Peko and Smile as the main characters, but it's a great story. It's told very
Actually,
effectively. Glad we
I'm
watched it.
thinking on it a little more. I think it's an 8 for me.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I guess you are the sportiest of us.
Yeah, I can kind of like feel it on some level because it's like I've done high school sports. I cared a lot when I did it. I can relate to some level,
And
to
I
some
was
degree.
in marching
Uh, nerd.
band.
You're a nerd too.
True. But at least I didn't do band.
Hey,
Are we gonna start a nerd fight here? I'm gonna grab
Okay.
my popcorn.
I'm going to say one more thing. So there's a live action movie of this.
Oh,
Really? Oh boy.
I know nothing about it except I think the director. What else? He did the Dragon Age anime movie that everyone hates, and he did the live action FMA that's on Netflix, I believe.
So this is like
Not good reviews.
so this is Ping Pong the Animation, the movie.
Well, it was
Ping Pong the
made in
movie.
2002.
So Ping Pong and
It's
the
just
manga, the
called
movie.
Ping Pong.
Balls of Fury.
Sure.
I will send the poster in chat.
Okay.
Anyways,
It's just people playing ping pong.
yeah, I wouldn't have
Indeed
assumed
it
that
is.
was based on anything.
It is. Well, no, you can see Kong with his
Oh,
orange
yeah.
Yeah,
outfit.
Kong has his orange jersey.
Oh, you
And
got
that's
Baldy.
it's Kazuma. the
There's
big one.
bald dudes. Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
everyone.
Peko
Okay.
has his bowl cut.
Anyways,
Okay, if you watched the episode before this, which was Scott Pilgrim, not episode before this, the part 1 of this episode, you will know that we are doing a special. We were doing Cowboy Bebop, and the movie, but this is my showdown. I'm telling you guys to watch Cowboy Bebop, so that's what we're doing. See you guys next time.
Yippee
Bye.
yahoo. Goodbye.